basis, 1,12,49,844 accounts are idle. There are 2,481 crore there, but sufficient safeguards have been provided in the bill. Even after a 10-year period, if the person who owns the account comes and asks for the money, he must be returned the money, and the bank will claim the money from this deposit account. So no, even if it takes 15 years or 20 years, nobody's money will be taken away. It's not our intention to expropriate anybody's money, but we cannot allow 2,481 crore to lie idle. We will use it, but if he comes and claims it, we will return the money. We have appointed the Justice Sri Krishna Committee to look into all financial sector laws and to give us a report on redrafting all financial sector laws. That report has come in a draft form. Comments have been invited. Once that report is finalized, I hope that we will have an opportunity to draft a comprehensive banking law. But at the moment, the only thing I can do is to amend the existing law. Now, questions were asked about branches being closed. I mean, I don't know where we get that impression. It's possible that in a village or in a same road or in a town, two branches may be amalgamated. But that's not the record of our government. We have added 6,489 branches in the year 2011-12. And this year, we will add approximately the same number. I did give that number once, roughly about 18, 19 branches a day we are adding. Apart from that, in the last 1 year when the scheme was announced, we have opened 32,518 ultra-small branches. Therefore, enough branches are being opened. We will open branches approximately at the rate of about 6,000 a year. That's the plan. There was some question about we are merging small banks. Sir, there is no provision in this amending bill regarding merger. There is no provision in this bill at all. Whatever law is there is there. There is no provision in this bill about any merger. We are not introducing any new provision. There was a question about education loans. Sir, this is a passion. Personally, this is a passion for me. My friends in Tamil Nadu know I've never spoken at a public forum without emphasizing education loans. Today, as on 30th of September, 52, this is apart from the loans that have been taken and repaid, 52,000 crore rupees for 24 lakh accounts are outstanding. And if any honorable member, I receive complaints from my constituency and from elsewhere. We have a section in the Department of Financial Services which receives complaints. Each bank has a cell which receives complaints. I'm not saying that there are no black sheep in the banking industry. I'm not saying there is no heartless manager. Maybe there's one here, maybe one there. In fact, if there's one there or one here, give me his name and I'll pass it on to Gurudas Das Gupta ji. So that he can take action. The point is, we are...
Please be seated, please be seated. Please don't. Please, no interruption, please.
We are giving loans, and I said, in the other house I think I said, if any honorable member wishes to hold an education loan camp in his constituency, please write to me and I will ask the lead bank to hold a camp in your constituency. But you must take the initiative. Some money has to be spent, of course, in making the arrangements, but that can't be helped. Some preliminary arrangements have to be made, a hall has to be acquired, some banner has to be put up, some advertising has to be done. But you must do that. If you do that, I will ask the lead bank to hold a camp. Question was asked about FDI in public sector banks. There is no new provision. This is the provision in the 1980 Act. Section 2, capital D of the 1980 Act contains a provision that any non-resident can hold shares up to 20%. We have not made a new provision. This has been part of the Act for many, many years. No new provision is being made. Some question about retrenchment in world banks and other banks and what are we doing here. Why are we concerned about the world? If the world, the banking system in the world retrenches, let them retrench. Look at what we have done. In 2011-12, all public sector banks together, officers, clerks and sub-staff, we have recruited 55,632 young men and women. And this year, the plan is to recruit 84,489 young men. We are opening 6,000 branches. How can we not recruit? Even if I take 3 or 4 people to a branch, officer, clerk and sub-staff, I need, for 6,000 branches, I need 25,000 people. Then people are retiring. Some people leave for other jobs. We are recruiting 84,489 this year. I can't see in the foreseeable future, sir, I cannot see that our banks retrenching anyone. On the contrary, in the foreseeable future, for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we will be opening so many branches and we will recruit many, many more young men and women. So Mr. Aksul asked the question, who is the appellate authority for a penalty? All right. For removal of managerial or other persons, there is an appeal to the central government under section 36AA3A. For cancellation of a license, there is an appeal to the central government under section 22(5). For imposition of a penalty, there is no appellate authority. One has to go to the writ court under Article 226 of the Constitution. There were some questions about the NPA. I think I answered a question in this house. When the economy is in some stress, some sectors also will be under some stress. It is because some sectors are under stress, the economy is under stress. If every sector is doing well, why should the economy be under stress? Some sectors are under stress. And I believe, and I think the Prime Minister agrees with me, when the economy is going through a slowdown or under stress, this is not the time to tighten the screws on the stress sector. This is the time to handhold them, help them come out of this difficulty, so that when the economy recovers, the sector recovers, and they will repay the loan. They are not willful defaulters. There are some sectors which are under stress. So this is the time to restructure the loan. RBI guidelines allow for restructuring of the loan. MPs have approached me with individual cases to help restructure the loan. That is the right thing to do. You can't allow an industry in your constituency to close down just because it is under stress today. This is the time to help the industry tide over the difficulty. Let's hold on for 6 months, 12 months or so. Economy will recover, and therefore there is a slight rise in the proportion of NPAs. Nobody is denying that. NPAs today, gross NPAs are 3.1% as on 31st of March. Net NPAs are only 1.4%. Therefore, these NPAs have been fully provided for. That's what I said. That is what I... Please. Please don't
interrupt.
Please don't introduce concepts which are unknown to banking. Every country in the world, every bank has NPAs. If there was no NPA, if everybody repaid his loan, if everybody paid his interest, if no account has become bad, then we must be at the edge of cloud 9. This is utopia. It just won't happen. There will be some reason or other. Therefore, there will, please don't interrupt. There will be some NPAs. The net NPA is only 1.4%. I have said, and I say this guardedly, yes, this is a matter of concern, but it is not a matter for alarm. This is the time to help restructure the loans, help the industry come out of the stress, and they will come out of stress, and these loans will become, what are doubtful assets will become standard assets over a period of time. Sir, our banks are well capitalized. We are well above the Basel norm. And the new Basel norm, Basel III, we will be ahead of the Basel III norm because we capitalize them repeatedly. They have enough money to lend. The economy is going through a period of slowdown, but as I said, it will come out of this trough. It will recover, and when it recovers, banks will be required to lend more money, and banks have the liquidity to lend more money. The RBI has infused 1,46,290 crores of liquidity, and the banks have enough liquidity to lend money to all sectors and to all segments that require money. Sir, there were some smaller questions about, I think I've answered all the major questions. There was some question about consolidation. Please understand, not one of our banks is among the top 20 banks of the world. China has 3. Not one of our banks is among the top 20. Today, if a loan size is about, say, 6,000 crore, there is not a single bank which can take the portfolio on its book. It has to put together a consortium. India, for the size of its GDP, for the future that we envision, we need world-sized banks. Nobody said all 27 public sector banks will be consolidated. Please read my speech at BankCon. And I made the same speech 4 or 5 years ago. This is based on the Narasimham 1 committee, the Narasimham 2 committee. We said we need 2 or 3 world-sized banks. And 2 or 3 world-sized banks will come by some smaller banks consolidating with the larger banks of this country. But we will still have over 20 public sector banks, and each one of them will grow. We need world-sized banks. I'm prepared to debate it in any other fora. There's no time today. We need 2 or 3 world-sized banks. And if the private sector banks will become larger and larger, should not the public sector bank also keep pace and become larger and larger? But I think there is a case for merger of banks, and there is a case for 2 or 3 world-sized banks. So the last and concluding statement, one of the honourable members blamed what he described as the P.Chidambaram model. Now please don't equate me with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is a distinguished economist. I am not. The Prime Minister has vast experience. I do not have. But the Manmohan model also showed to this country that we can achieve 9% plus growth. The Manmohan model also showed to this country that we can reduce our fiscal deficit to below 3%. It came to 2.5. Therefore, don't blame this model. If you blame the Manmohan model,
Please शांत रहिए, शांत रहिए.
I'm not yielding.
Please शांत रहिए. बैठिए, बैठिए, बैठिए.
I'm not yielding. The
Please don't disturb.
Manmohan model must
Let the
also
minister-
be credited. If the Manmohan
Let the minister
model
reply.
is the
बैठ
model
जाइए.
that has caused this,
बैठ जाइए.
the Manmohan model must also be credited. Must also be credited for making India the second fastest growing economy in the world. So these words, sir, I commend this bill and request all sections allowed to support it.
The question is that the bill be taken into consideration. Those in favor may say aye.